Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Fishel, and something happened today that I observed that motivated me to make this video. And it concerns the Hurricane Ian and what was being talked about around Tampa Bay. And the very real possibility was being discussed of this being a once in a 100-year event because of the storm going north of Tampa Bay and all that water being forced from the ocean into a shallow bay area and the water having nowhere to go, and the potential for a truly catastrophic event, one that had not occurred in a century. But there were some things that changed today, and some people sort of knee-jerked and said, oh, let's call off the dogs. It doesn't look nearly as bad now. And I have a problem with that. And so I'd like to discuss those problems right now, and here we go. Okay, so hype is a statistical anomaly, if you think about it. The most common scenarios occur in the middle of the bell curve, and then the outliers are on either end. So let's call the worst case scenario on the left end of the bell and the best case scenario on the right end. Why do we ignore the most common scenarios and the best case scenario and only focus on the worst case? So let's consider these points. There is a reason that an occurrence is a once in a 100-year event. It takes a unique set of circumstances for it to occur. And there is a reason for the hurricane fan. Forecast error increases as one goes out in time. The adjustment in track today was well within the fan, which points out again that we should never focus on that track. We should always forecast on the fan, and it might interest you to know that tropical systems only end up in the fan 2/3 of the time. And so you can't even completely rely on the fan telling you where the center of the storm is going to go. In addition, if a meteorologist truly feels that there is a high probability of a once in a 100-year event, then it would be irresponsible not to warn your listeners and viewers. I'm not advocating ignoring data that is good, that is pointing you in that direction. But mention the other scenarios as well and talk about what could change. There's a reason for the hurricane fan. No forecast is perfect, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. In the final analysis, the user cannot make an intelligent decision without all of the information. Here are the average National Hurricane Center forecast errors based on their forecast for the last 5 years. And this is how they determine how wide or narrow that fan is going to be. In 12 hours, the average error is 27 miles. It goes up to 41 miles at 24 hours, 71 at 48, 105 at 72, 144 at 96, and by 5 days out, the average error in the track is 198 miles. So finally, let me offer some advice for what it's worth. For the meteorologist on TV or radio or social media, you don't gain listeners or viewers by hyping a storm. In fact, you lose them by doing that. And don't let your superiors tell you differently. It is something that I observed for almost 40 years. People want honesty, they want the truth, and they want to know what the uncertainty is. And for the user, seek out information from someone who has your best interests at heart. If they care more about you than they care about ratings, you have found a winner. That's it for now, folks. We'll talk to you soon.